Today I have for you a series of weightlifting complexes that you can use within your training, specifically for grapplers and MMA athletes. Strikers, I don't typically prescribe weightlifting complexes. I don't think they're necessary for those arts, but for grapplers and MMA, you can greatly benefit from doing these. Now, when would you do a weightlifting complex? Typically within a work capacity cycle, maybe a little further away from a fight. You're developing essentially strength endurance or power endurance within key muscle groups and key positions that you'd find yourself in when grappling and doing MMA, for example, shooting takedowns and being in those positions where you're resisting posture breaks. And just to give you a quick rundown of what a weightlifting complex is, it's a series of barbell weightlifting exercises done within one set. So for example, while holding the barbell the entire time, you might be doing some variation of pulls as well as some kind of power clean or power snatch with that. And I've got a bunch of videos now coming, which I will talk over to fill you in with what's happening. All right, so now we have our first weightlifting complex, and this first one is a snatch deadlift shrug. So without coming onto the toes, followed by 2 hang power snatches. Now, if you cannot perform hang power snatches or power cleans or anything like that, you can replace those with high pulls. Now, there are many variations you can use regarding sets and reps. I like doing 2+2. You can do 3+2s, 3+3s, 1+1s. It all depends on the training cycle you are in. Also, you'll see that I'm lifting off these soft foam pads. One reason, it's in a garage. I don't want to have the weights drop onto the floor and disturb the neighbors there, but also it helps with some of my knee pain that I have periodically as well. But typically you'll do these from the floor. So this is the second complex. It's 2 snatch high pulls, as you can see here, and then 2 hang power snatches. I think this one ended up, no, sorry, 2 power snatches from the floor. So each of these are 4 reps from the floor in this complex. Now, if you cannot do the power snatch portion, you could do all snatch high pulls. You could do snatch pulls plus snatch high pulls. There's all different variations you can use. And then we're on to a clean complex. This is exactly the same as the first snatch complex. It's a clean deadlift shrug, followed by a hang power clean. Again, if you don't have the mobility to get into that rack position, you can use the clean high pull as well. And the nice thing about these complexes is it's all about speed, and you're getting the speed and the finish using the legs and the hips. And these things you don't get when you're doing complexes of traditional strength training exercises. That's what makes these complexes so potent for grappling and MMA. So here's another example, again, using the clean high pull but from the floor, and now we're going below the knee. So now you're also adding a grip component to the complex because you need to perform the 2 pulls from the floor, and then you need to stay connected with the bar as you perform 2 hang power cleans from below the knee. Going below the knee, a little more range of motion than you would when going from above the knee in that hang position. Now we have an overhead weightlifting complex. So we're doing 1+1+1. It's a hang power clean, followed by a push press, followed by a power jerk. So this one is going to challenge your ability to finish driving with your legs and simultaneously pushing with your arms. So nice complex. Again, you can play around with the sets and reps. You can do more push presses, more power jerks, all depending on what you like to do. So if you enjoyed this video and you want more like this, please let me know down in the comments. Please like, subscribe, share, everything like that as well. There's the link to the Sweet Science of Fighting Underground. You actually get programs with these weightlifting complexes in them specifically for grapplers and MMA athletes. And that's all part of that subscription. All training programs, online courses, the private Discord community, as well as being able to be live on the podcast each week to ask questions.